and innovate. Today we all are here for day 4 of training program. And yesterday in day 3, the session was taken out by respected Dr. Pratik Jain sir. And the subject was planning and management of startup. And uh, that was full package of study and summarization of the topic. And today our topic is attractive angel investors and pitching your idea. For that, we have joined with respected Dr. Deepak Agrawal, sir. I know you all are very curious for the session, but before going ahead, I would like to introduce sir, and I consider it a great honor for me. Dr. Deepak Agrawal, sir, is a decorate in management along with masters in commerce and management. To his credentials also have PGDFM from AIIMS Chennai, PGDBM from DAVV, and PGDHRM from IGNOU. Out of 45 research papers, 29 research papers published in national and international journals, including 4 in Scopus Journal, followed by 16 papers presented and published in national and international conferences. Sir, two other institutes at the head or administrative positions. Presently, Sir is working as a professor and head at Shri Institute of Professional Studies, Indore. Sir has implemented a series of activities-based learning program, all-encompassing curriculum on a university level in finance for MBA program, 360-degree feedback system, teaching pedagogy delivered, and attended several MDP and FDPs, workshops, conferences in the area of finance and research development. Resource sir has also playing a role of resource person for skill development. Now I am putting some achievement of sir. Sir has got the award, Best Student Award for Diploma in Business Management by Agrasen Social Group Indore in 1994. Certificate of Excellence from Shri Agrasen Club awarded by Mayor of Indore, Shri Krishnakant Moge on November 2nd November 2014 Indore. Facilitated for PhD in PIMR International Conference on January 30, 2015. Sir has different memberships like Executive Member RFI Indore Chapter, Member Circular Economy Club Boston USA, Life Member Youth Hostel of India. And Sir's area of interest are finance, research project financing. So with this, I would like to invite Sir for the session. Please welcome Sir.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
So, hopefully, you all have enjoyed the previous 3 days sessions, and definitely it would be very, very fruitful to all of you. And most of them are already, I hope so that most of the participants are already in this system. So they are well aware about all of the things, and these things are is not a new. Getting the funds is not a big problem in nowadays environment. So just allow me 1 minute so I can share my screen. Can you see it?
Yes, sir, visible.
Okay, thank you so much, ma'am. So for the today's topic, that is attracting angel investors and pitching ideas. So in the yesterday's session, Pratik sir has gone in detail about idea generation, preparation or development of the project report and how to get this project report approved. He has suggested that this report should be prepared with the help of the chartered accountants and should be presented to the various authorities who can provide the fundings. There are various government agencies who are always supportive, just like MSME is there. There are various chambers through which you can process through them. So these are the top portions I am not going to cover in my today's topic because it has already been covered or it will be covered in the remaining sessions. So particularly, let us, before proceeding, let me go ahead with a quiz to all of you. These are the major contents about this session. Now just on the screen, you can see 3 faces. Before, without going Google, can you please identify these faces? If so, you please note it down or you can send it to the chat box. Okay. I hope so. Some or maybe few have I might be able to identify any one of them. Again, next image. There is a problem. I always need to move back to the manager screen and then I need to move ahead. So you need to bear it. Okay, fine. This was the first screen. This is the next screen. There were the few foreigners and these are the few Indians. Can you identify any one of the name? Anyone from this 8 or previous 3?
Sir, actually, your screen is visible, but what slide and what you are talking, that is not visible here.
Can you see this screen? 3 faces.
No, sir. No, sir. We are seeing just Google. Sir, I think you need to switch the screen. You need to switch the tab. What we are seeing on the screen
You
is the
please
Google
pin.
Meet screen.
You pin the screen. Okay, I will once again reshare it to you. 1 minute, ma'am. Can you see it now?
Yes. Now. Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So these are the broad classification we are trying to cover in today's session. So these 3 images I have just shared. Please identify these 3 faces if possible. Please note down the names. I just requested don't use Google to identify these faces. I hope so that you have gone through these faces. Again, next screen I am sharing. These are the 8 popular faces. Let me give you a clue. They are the top entrepreneurs of the country. These are the 8 Indian faces. I hope so that any one of the face you can recognize. Anyone? Okay, fine. No issues. Now, can you identify these people? No one? You can open your mic. You can answer to it. Nobody? Surprised? Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Audible.
Am I viewable?
Yes, sir.
Yes, these are the very famous faces present in the present scenario. There is no one to identify any one of them. These are 6 faces. Okay. So let us move ahead. This is the answer to the quiz 1. Here's Mr. Paul Bushit. Now these 3 faces, they are basically the entrepreneurs belongs to the USA. And Mr. Paul Bushit, he has been angel investor or a funded to more than 550 companies in various types of market. He was the man, he was the 23rd man who joined the Google. Earlier he used to be the employee of Google and he is the man behind who had just created the Gmail. So presently, he is not the employee of the Google. He is an entrepreneur. He is the angel financer and angel investor. So you can see he was scoring the 12th position as in terms of angel financing. Second man is Max Levchin. He used to be the co-founder of PayPal and eBay. Along with that, he are having many other associations with in credits to him, and he has funded for more than 50 startups. The third name, that is Dave McClure. Again, he used to be the former employees of PayPal. He worked at Google, YouTube, Yahoo. He was at a very senior position at Yahoo. And again, he has been founding partner for more than 500 startups. So you can see how professional these people are. We can have few more Indian faces to the screen, but I'm not getting in their details. Again, they are the angel investors. Along with the entrepreneurship, they are holding the various positions, just like Mr. Ajay Chaudhary. Mr. Alok Mittal, Mr. Anand Letsre, and Mr. Harish Mehta. Deliberately, I left these four faces to you people so that you can still identify their names by using the Google image source. So they are the top entrepreneurs of India who are providing the angel financing. Now, just before proceeding, what angel financing and what is the role of them, let us try to understand what is the startup cycle. Startup is become a very fancy name in now's environment. Even if we ask to our outgoing students, what you are going to do, we are going to start up. But if you go and ask in depth about it, they are unable to explain it or elaborate the term. Most popularly, when we talk about the startup, we used to normally consider as the first generation startup. That means ki the first time they are entering into the business, they are not having their family background. But irrespective of it, they can be the startup with having the family background or maybe having some business background. They can also get into the system. Now, when we go with the financing cycle, so they have classified into in fact, three broad categories. This is the very first stage where the angel investors used to provide the seed capital. I will discuss. They will provide the angel investors are there and they will initially going to provide the fundings. This is the very, very risky stage. You can see that with the time, the validity of death means the chances of losing out the investment is very, very high. So it is a very risky business, those who are investing. Once they are established their business, they can go with the second stage of financing, and that can be done with the help of the venture capitals or venture capitalists are there who used to provide the long-term fundings along with the association in the form of joint ventures. It can be further in the form of acquisitions, mergers, and strategic alliances. I hope all of you are clear with this terminology, so I'm not elaborating it. So again, they have classified into four stages. First and second is considered as the early stage. Third and fourth is been considered as the later stage. So again, the time may arises. The business is growing. You can move ahead with venture capital financing, or you can sell out your business. You can acquire others. And once after that, you are been established. So you can move to the third stage, and that is the public financing. That is entering into the equity market. So this is the spectrum which provides the risk return and the stages of the business. Here the risk is very, very high and the returns are very, very low. Once the business is established, gradually the risk increases, but return simultaneously increases. And finally, into getting the public, then it will provide the more funds to you to expand your business. Along with, there is a control risk factor associated with it. So now let us proceed to the terminology that what is angel investing and what does it all means about. So angel investors are the people who are having enough funds with them. They are already in the business. They even may be in the profession, and they used to provide the funds in the form of seed capital to have your startups or to set up your business. So as per terminology, they are known as commonly known as business angels, informal investors, angel funders, private investors, or even the seed investors. And usually in exchange, they used to have ask for some convertible debt or the ownership equity. Again, that images, 6 images, what I have shown, they belongs to Shark Tank. If you have gone through few episodes, or if not so, then please go through it. And they used to put some offers. Usually, all startups comes for approach to this think tanks, financiers. They provide some fundings to them, and with certain equities, maybe 1%, 2%, 5%, 25%. It all depends. So what exactly they are doing? They are helping into getting into the business in the most better way, and to promote their business activity. Even other than the equity they are demanding, they also provide their expertness to establish or to expand their businesses. So they usually support to startups in the initial moment where risk of the startups are falling are very, very high. Just we have seen in the previous slide, the risk factor is very high. And if it has been said, if someone's hold our hand at this stage, we will definitely cope up and we can move in the upward direction. Just I think it was in the yesterday's episode or maybe day before yesterday, they have financed one agency with a funds of rupees 5 crores. So it was a very big finance provided by this think sharks. So definitely they are very supportive with a consequential manner where the most investors are not prepared to back them. It means where nobody is there to support them, then the angel investors comes upon before proceeding. Again, the problem arises to the earlier times. We used to have only two sources of fundings. One is the owner's investment, own capital, and second is the debt funds in the form of term loans from the banks. Owns capital used to be very limited because we are having a very limited source of fundings into the earlier times. But nowadays, there are various options are available. Funding is not a big problem. Managing business is the major problem which must be considered. So there are other things which are going to cover up in the later part of our in this workshop. So we should say that angel investors are usually a high net worth individuals who funds startup at the early stages, commonly with their own money. Angel investors, they also have their own sources of fundings that we will discuss in the later slides. So talking about the origin of this term angel, which is been derived from the Broadway theater, where the wealthy individuals or the investors used to provide funds to the theaters for the production purposes. This term was very first used by the University of New Hampshire by Mr. William Wetzel, who is to be the later co-founder for the Center of Venture Research. This image is copyrighted, so please don't use without getting permission or citing this image properly. In 1978, he has completed a study about the entrepreneurship mode or way of raising capital for the businesses. And later, this term was been adopted by the business houses in the form of angel investing. So since 1978, we come up with this terminology. What is the role of angels? This is very common term. Nominally, we are coming angel investing, seed financing, crowd financing. These are very common terms nowadays. And above all, the IPOs comes upon. The role of angels, number one, what I talked about, that is a seed financing or seed funding. Seed funding means initially you want to establish the business and it requires lots of work for establishing the business. That are to be considered as the preliminary expenses. So they used to provide the funds at either in the partnership term or maybe in the some form of soft loan to this firm, and which can be repaid in the near future, or even maybe in the form of debt funds which may be convertible into equity share. So to set up the business, to start up the business, the seed fundings are being provided. Secondly, they provide a gap filling at startup phase. Initially, lots of funds are required. So they provide a source to establish the business in spite of after seed fundings. Investing in early stage where joint ventures are not getting into. They are the people who provide the funding at those stages where the joint ventures are not interested to get into. I just shown in that slide that joint ventures commonly comes into the picture only when the business has been established. Before that, they hesitate to get into it. So they are those people. Role of angels becomes an integral part of the business. Just I told that they may even help to access the business or to participate into the day-to-day business activities. So they provide their expertness to the various business avenues, and they provide the capital involvement at the regional levels. Means ki the normally the angel investors comes from the regional area because they knows the financing firm, they knows the borrowing firm, so it becomes a good source of financing. Traditionally, once again, the source of fundings are one from the equity capital, means own funds, we can say. Secondly, borrowing through the banks. And third is borrowing from the market. So above that, angel investors helps us a lot. What are the angel investing includes? So these are the six broad elements. Angel investing includes number one, that is fundings, getting the source of the funds. Then after getting the source, it is necessary to evaluate the sources. What should be the source from through which we can gather the funds and as per our terms and conditions. It is recommended and suggested that don't get under pressure by the angel investors. If you are not ready to accept their terms, you can softly refuse it. So that you can run the business as per your own vision and as per your own expectations. Value the fundings and value the firm which is going to invest in your business. Define the structuring. What will be the level of hierarchy to your organization and what will be the role of that angel investor in that structure? Either they comes in the strategic role, that means they can be the part of top management or middle management or anything else about it. Negotiate, just I told you, after evaluation and valuing, negotiate with them as per your terms and conditions. Whatever you wish to offer them. Discuss, try to convince. If not so, don't hesitate, don't be in deep trouble. Left that person behind, we can look for some another source or another investor. Harvest it, that means finally get into the deal. So these are the basic fundamentals of angel investings. Let us try to understand the types of angels. Number one, they are the business angels, who are the private, maybe individuals or the business firms who wants to invest in your business. Entrepreneurial angels, they are individuals who invest to diversify portfolio or to expand their current business. These are those people who are already holding a huge amount of money, means surplus money in their hand, and now they want to expand their business. But maybe due to time constraint or maybe other limitations, they may not be in a position to enter another business. So in that case, they provide the funds in the form of angel financing. Third one is the corporate angel. They are the companies, corporates, who makes regular investments and used to be the part of the intakes. So commonly, the corporate angels are more popular as compared to any other types of angels. In India, the entrepreneur angels are also in the system. Next are the professional angels also. Now, professional angels, they are having the expertness to some fields, specific field. They may be from the various professions. It may be just like maybe doctor, it may be lawyer, or it may be the chartered accountants, or maybe the advocate, anybody else who may also get enter into the such type of ventures. Another form, that is the latent angels. They are the rich individuals who made the investments, but not in the past 3 years. Means we can say they might have invested earlier, but now presently, after a gap of few period, again they would like to invest. This is the classification. The next part comes upon, and that is the sources of angel investings. We have to locate them. It is not a big problem. Simply put the angel investing at the Google and it will provide you the lakhs and lakhs of millions of lists in front of you. I just tried in the next slide to show you the link through which you can identify these angel investors. So the sources, number one, you can just go through with the angel list, and there are various online platforms through which you can find the investors. You can again access the government sites. You can be the member of some of the associations, just like we are having the Indian Management Association, Chamber of Commerce has been there. Then I just told MSME is there. So these are the platforms where you can also identify the angel investors. You can directly communicate, contact, discuss, request, present. This can be done. Second comes upon the source, that is the Angel Investment Network. Again, this is the global site through which you can have, which is having holding a rich sources of more than 280,000 investors throughout the world. So you can even access through that network. We have third association. This is like Angel Capital Association. Again, it holds global data, and they are having more than 14,000 private backers and 250 angels gatherings and license stages. So again, it is much more popular in the USA, Canada, South America, and the Middle East. So this is the third source through which you can collect the information about the angel investors. Then one more thing, that financing varies from country to country and the sources and person to person. What I have observed, the basic financing by the American angels is somewhere around $45,000 minimum. So it can be to a large extent. The next one is Angel Messaging Forum. New companies looking for equity financing during this range, that is $1 lakh to $1 million, they can use the AMF to make introductions to pre-scanned private corporate angel bankers. Particularly, these firms are overseas. They are having their global existence and presence. LinkedIn is one of the best source for the professional networks. If you want to connect with the professionals, you must have your profile at LinkedIn. So LinkedIn provides, it is a professional social network, and here you can have the contact to the angel investors with this LinkedIn. Keep updating your profile on the regular basis. Even being an academician, then also you must have your profile at LinkedIn. Other factors, and that is local business groups or the associations you are associated with. Just like business schools or the business institutes and organizations can also provide the database to you. You can contact the premium institute, just like IIMs have been there, or some reputed universities, PGDM institutes. They can provide the sources of the angel financiers. So till now, we tried to understand the concept of angel financing. What are the angels? Who are the angels? What does it all means about? And collecting the information. Now, what are the sources of fundings? We may not be so interested, but it is necessary to understand. We need to analyze the creditability of the angel funders or funders. Because unless and until the funding agency is not strong enough, they may in future get into bankrupt, and that is adversely going to affect the goodwill of your firm simultaneously, because they are having a stake in your organization too. So in that case, we need to be very cautious. Just get into the depth about it, inquire about the firm, inquire about the promoters or even the directors of those groups. So the angel investors can provide funds through three sources. Number one, they offer the business a loan that can be converted into equity position once the business is been taking off. Initially, it is in the form of a soft loan, and later once the business has been taken off, that will be automatically converted into the equity fundings. The ratio again varies with terms to terms and time to time, but usually it is somewhere between 10 to 13%, although it is mentioned 20 to 30. It all depends. Secondly, it has been through the convertible preference shares. Nowadays in India, preference shares are not so fancy. But yes, once we go with the bulk deal, still preference shares plays a very important role or crucial role in the corporate fundings. So they are being issued for a specific period of time. The company can issue the preference shares and they can be converted into equity shares after a specific duration or the period of that agreement. The goodness is like that. In case of preference shares, they will receive a fixed rate of dividend. And secondly, later, when converted into equity, they can participate equally into the business activities. So, unless and until your business has been established, you are having freedom to manage your business as per your own way. And later, you can include as one of the director to your organization. Third, by offering direct equity, again, it may be any ratio in the form of stake in the company. So they will be the shareholders since day one when you get into the agreement or the as for the angel investing. So they may appoint any one or two representatives in the form of director or maybe the key person to that business setup. So this can be the three, these are the three major source of fundings by the angel financing agencies. What are advantages of getting sorry into angel financing? There are lots of obligations to be followed once you go for the loans, any type of loans. Even if it is an established company, you need to go with the public issue debentures in the form of it. Lots of formalities required. In case of term loans, again, lots of formalities are required. Getting loans from the market, lots of formalities, and the risk is high because rate of interest is too high. So the goodness is that once there is an angel investors, to certain extent, they reduce your burden. You need not to take care about the repayment. Rather than that, you can focus upon the business activities. They will help us to grow the business. And once the business has been established, then we can plan to repay as per any desired agreement. They are angel investors are usually considered as an entrepreneur. So we do understand that once they are in the business, we consider them an experienced person. So they provide valuable inputs to our business, which will be helpful in growing our business activity. Their knowledge, their experience, their involvement will help to grow our business in a better manner. They will help in reducing the various administrative works. Once again, they are learned people who have enough knowledge to deal with all the various departments. So again, it is a very tedious job work to get the approvals from the various departments, particularly in India. We commonly talk about a single window system, but practically it doesn't happen. Those who are in the business activity, they do understand. Ekal Khidki, they have classified the name, but still lot many of the permissions, approvals have been required. So these angel investors, they will provide, they provide an assistant to getting in all those approvals. They even provides enough cash as and when required. Usually, angel financer will not provide you the complete fundings at a single stage of time. They will release the funds as and when it has been required by the business. So it is even helpful for us to control the flow of the funds and to control over the wastage of the funds. Again, there are certain limitations too. Number one, once angel investors are being in the day-to-day activity, That means they may be the partner, they may be the director, they may be the promoter. So their involvement is also sometimes not fruitful to expand your business. Means you may not work as per your own vision. Definitely, it is a part as a pros and cons both of the sides. They may provide the valuable inputs. At the second side, in case they may have their own reservations, which may affect your decisions to the business. Next one, that angel requirements, investors require compensation for their fundings. In the words of Levinsky, he is also the one of the angel financer and the author. He says that typically that comes in the form of equity, which could be more expensive than debt financing. In academic terms, when we go with the capital structure designing, we always assume that debt financing is less costly as compared to equity financing. Means cost of debt is lower than to the cost of equity. It is assumed. It may vary with time to time. So similarly, when we go with the equity financing, we need to pay a more amount of dividend, more rate of dividend as terms of the debt financing. So that puts an additional burden to our business in terms of profitability and capital building. Here are a few financial terminologies I am using. I hope you might be capable enough to understand. In case of not, we can discuss in the discussion session. Potential for novice investors. Angel investors is winding up with their inexperienced investments. Some of the time it may happen that you have choose a person who is not enough experience in that to particular area may affect your business. So these are the some of the limitations of angel financing. Before getting into angel financer, we need to go with the assessment. Angel investor assessment is definitely required. It can be done by as a yourself, or we can outsource this work. It can be taken care by those people who are expertise to it, or even the government agencies are there. These agencies may support you in getting those idea and about the assessment of that investors. So what are the basic things required? Number one, that is the idea about the investors. I'm talking about angel investors idea. What actually they are looking for? Does they fit to your expectation? Are they experienced enough? So these are the some of the questions you must to discuss before getting into an agreement. Then availability of the technology, adaptability of the technology, and investing in the technology. Technology is always updating. It always keeps on changing. So just analyze on which mode they are working upon. You're talking about just like 3G, 4G, 5G. If you're talking about Activa, so again they are having the same 3G, 4G, 5G, 6G, 7G, something coming new in the newer feature. So similarly, the level of technology, the investment involved in technology, upgradation of the technology, that is very, very much involved. If we are not in a position to update ourselves, it will affect adversely to your business. Third is the financial strength of the angel investors, how strong they are. Their commitments are to be evaluated. Their past performance are to be analyzed. You can get this data through their published sources, maybe through a chartered accountant, through the banks. So through that, you can collect the information about angels. Just go with the family and personal background. Are they involved in any of such activities earlier? If not so, how much faith you can possess to them? Definitely, family background affects the business a lot. So that is also to be analyzed. Then time we need to consider how much time they have taken to build their business houses. And secondly, once we get into the agreement, how much time they will take to provide the financing or fundings to R. This both of the things must be taken care. their experiences. In the segment where you want their investment, they must possess some experience towards it. Also, analyze the options of the other angels. I just earlier told you, don't rely on the single angel. Even if we go to the market to purchase the uh, dress, we used to have an option. We used to visit 3 to 4 shops before finalizing it. So similarly, just analyze few more angels, try to negotiate with them, go with all these elements, and then you can decide which one is more suited to you. Level of risk involved by you, by them, and at what risk level they are associated with it. We met an angel investor who is near about a dying stage, means their business is almost at a dead stage. So there is very large risk involved in it. So it's all depend upon your perception that you want to get associated with them or not. And finally, what is their strategy? Not ours. It is definitely taken care by ourselves, but we need to understand. Do they want to take over? Do they want to have acquire the business in the near future? Or they will support in the form of financial fundings to us? So we need to analyze their strategy. Otherwise, it might be possible that you have started your business and at the later stage, they have taken up your business. It normally happens in the corporate world. So these are the few questions can be asked by you. How much can I make from them? It is all you need to get it from them. You need to analyze it. How much I can lose if I get into this angel agreement? So what will be the proportion level I may lose by getting into that agreement if the business doesn't grow? Do you imagine or if that the deal is viable? Should we go for it? Will it be fruitful to our? What will be the exit strategy? Okay, we are into agreement, but if we want to end up our agreement, then what will be the strategy? Do we need to pay the compensation or what else is required? What will be the time duration? What will be the cost? All these factors must be considered before getting into it. How much you trust on the management of that angel financer? Just go with the reputation of that firm. Initially, I have shown you few faces. I think there were 9 of them. So they are all big and reputed investors which holds the corporate entities in big corporate entities in the country or maybe the global wise. What is their value? Ethical value foremost, market value and capital value. All of these elements must be taken care. So angel financing comes under the category of strategic finances. So this strategic alliances will be fruitful in the near future, that you need to analyze it. And the sustainability of the business environment, this point can also be discussed. So how we can proceed? For that, you need to go with the SWOT analysis. Keep those points in your mind. Just have a SWOT analysis. Try to look over the answer, what you are expecting, and accordingly, you can make your own decisions. Now, some of us may be having a reservation that why we should get into the angel financing is better to get into the private equity, as it is much easier. It's simply to get the funds from the market and we can start our own business. We will repay in the near future when we are going to earn it. So this is simply a comparative chart which provides may not be exactly same at all given conditions. The things may vary from time to time. So when we talk about the stage, definitely angel financing is the early stage, initial stage we should say. Venture is in the established stage. and private equity can come in the form of IPOs in the later stage. Amount can be in any figures. The type of investment, either in the form of equity capital, angels in type, maybe in the form of soft loans. Then in terms of venture capital, three options: equity, preference, and debt funds. And in terms of private equity, it is advisable in the form of equities. Now, in terms of angel investors, they are the first generation or second generation entrepreneurs. In terms of venture capitalists, yes, there are the experienced entrepreneurs along with the bankings and financial companies. That is, NBFCs are there. And again, they are the experts who belong to this third category. The level of risk is very high. We have already discussed here. The level of risk has been little bit reduced. So high risk. And in terms of private equity, because we are already in the established business, the risk has been reduced to the moderate level. Expected returns varies. Then again, focus of the business varies from firm to firm. And who can be the investment screening can be done. It can be done through the help of the founders, market share potentiality, and etc. Okay. Now, what are the common errors an angel investor does in search of the fundings? We have gone through the way that how we should find out the angel investors, how to negotiate them, how to come up with a agreement, and what will be the terms and conditions to be followed. But then too, we still committed some type of errors. And the very first and the important one, and that is the inadequate DPR, that is the detailed project report. Yesterday, Pratik sir has talked upon it. So detailed project report must be in such a manner that it must cover up all the angles of your business. At the second side, I'm also talking about the false data analysis. Definitely, once we used to in the stage of preparing the report and the returns are not as per our expectations, we manipulate the data and we put it in that manner. In real terms, if you want to work upon, just try to collect one or two reports from the chartered accountants you might be knowing. And if not so, just get the prospectus of any IPO which came earlier. This means at least 1 or 2 years before. Get the prospectus. Now compare the expected results disclosed in that prospectus with the actual results. I guarantees you 99% plus, means plus 99%, your financial data will not going to match with the DPR they have submitted in their prospectus. The question arises why? Because we are in the funding process. Definitely market conditions varies. Particularly if I am talking about previous 2 years, yes, we have gone through that COVID period. So the performance has been adversely affected. But that is the real condition, that your actual outcomes is never going to match with the expected outcomes. So the project report must cover each and every available angle and should be prepared with high scrutiny. We have gone with wrong estimations. Normally, once we go in the funding process, so we always try to put out, okay, this will be our expectations. But once after a year, we go with ahead. So it comes that we have hardly performed 50 to 60% of their expectations. So it may create negative impact on the angel financer or investor, and they may provide the lesser funding for the near future. Avoid using very excessive details in the DPR. Don't try to indulge all of the information which is not required to the fundings or which is not related or very much required to the report. Don't make too hefty reports. Next, delay disbursements. We are in the process, we are in the agreement, but the fundings are taking much time to get disbursed. So the project cost has been negatively affected. It is going to increase the project cost. Definitely, it is going to affect your profitability. Your IRR will be negatively affected. So try to get those funds at the time. Failing to understand investors' need. This type of errors also sometimes may occur. Then that what they are expecting, we are unable to get it, and here the agreements may be faulty in the near future. Failure arises due to failing to understand own capacity. We must analyze our capacity to perform in the market. Like my capacity is to have a turnover around 1 lakh tons, 1 lakh rupees might be, or 1 lakh ton of any of the commodity, and I am projecting 1 crore rupees or maybe the 10 lakh tons. So what I am doing, I am overestimating my capacity, and that will create a negative impact. So just first go with self-analysis, SWOT analysis of ourselves, SWOT analysis of the investors, SWOT analysis of your report, and the market conditions equally important. Avoid confusing product development and the business cycle. You need to understand that which business cycle we are standing in. If the business cycle is in the dying stage, it is suggested that you avoid getting into such type of business. Try to get in some another business which is in the growing phase. So product life cycle along with the business life cycle, and both of them talking upon, must be considered. Already discussed that faulty data will provide irrelevant information, and this will create a negative impact upon your work. There are n number of lists available. Just only 3 of it I have included. You can Google it, you can get it. When you want to go for the global, then you can have the Forbes.com, which provides you the valuable list of the angel investors. Again, it is a global platform. You can get the angellist.com. It is again a global platform. Again, you search for the angel investors who are registered to those agencies, and you can get their names. This is the Indian side. Here it is indianangelnetwork.com. I've also gone through one site, that is the angel.com. Like that, the one site is also there. So you can just go through it, click it, link it. You will find the n number of information. Try to locate, search, and you can get the people. Even not so, you can contact, just I told you, like management association. In Indore, we are having Indore Management Association. So you can directly go through, ask the manager of that association to provide the list of the angel financiers. So you will get the local list. It will be the direct source of contact. Meet them, put up your business idea, and then discuss, and finally you can go within certain agreements. So these are the few links which has been used in these sessions, and it will be helpful for you also. This is from my side. This is my website. In case of this is my email. In case of any queries, you can contact me, or you can WhatsApp through the group which has been created by the RFI. So I once again thanks RFI for providing me the support for conducting this session. The session is open now. You can come up with your questions. Yes, sir. Santosh sir, you can ask the question. Hello?
Yes, sir.
Santosh sir has raised his hand. You can ask him if he's having any query.
Santosh, sir.
Okay. In the meantime, any other person who is having any query related with angel financing? Basically,
So,
they are the seed investors. Yes,
excuse
ma'am.
me, sir. I
Yeah.
have a question. Just wanted to know whether the venture capitalist people also fund seed capital, or is it after the angel investment is done, then they enter a firm or
Ma'am,
provide funds
normally
to the firm?
they get enter in the business once it has been established. They are not so interested to get into the small investments and the small setups. They want to acquire the setup business. So their stress level is much, much low. So normally venture capitalists, they used to enter in the later stage. But normally it is all theoretical base, we can say. Any options are available. Even you may find in the near future any person who is ready to be the part of the angel investing. So it might be possible. But theoretically, they came into the existence only once the business is established.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Any more questions?
Participants who wanted to ask question, please, they may ask.
So one more question. Sorry,
Yeah.
I'm asking again. The question is that when we see, like you mentioned about Shark Tank also, and when we see about the investors, angel investors, so they do funding at different stages also.
Yes.
That means they may start with seed capital and then move further if they feel that they want to fund, or is it they pre-decide in what phases they will fund?
No, not necessarily required. Like they may enter into later stage also. Just like I told, initially you come as you started your business with your own funds, but later you are getting short of it. In that case, you can search for the angel investors. They can get into your business.
No,
Simply
no, no.
investors.
You didn't get my question. I'm asking that is there a cycle like you were talking about the cycle of funding? So they plan in advance in what phases they would be funding the venture.
Yes, yes, definitely. I also
Okay.
discuss upon that they will not provide the complete fund at the initial stage. They
Mm-hmm.
will provide those funds as and where it has been required, and they will keep a check on it so that their investment must be safe enough and it should
And
be used in
they
the
exit
proper.
also. They exit also if they want to.
Yes, they will. They may exit. It all depends upon the agreements between both of the parties. So before getting into them, we need to prepare the agreement thoroughly, which must include each and every point along with that. Because if they exit, they will demand for some return, additional returns about it.
Okay, so can we put in venture capital firm and angel investors together in a business?
Yes, you can put it. Just I told you, angel venture capitalists they normally get into the business in the later stage. But yes, angel investors is basically meant for the small business houses. Those
Okay.
who are having a startup, so they can go with the angel financing, and later they can have the various other available sources.
All right. All right. Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah. Any other?
Sir, good evening, sir.
Yes, ma'am. Good evening.
Sir, can I get the PPT?
Yeah, tomorrow I will just send it to the in the group. I need to make
Oh,
few more additions in it, so that I will do, and then I will provide you the PPT.
sorry, sir, not in the group actually. What shall I do, sir? Shall I send a mail?
No, ma'am. In that case, you request the RFI people, है ना?
Okay.
So I will provide to them, and you can get it from them.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
No issues. Yes. Anything else? Fine. So we can conclude the session from my side. If any queries even have exist, you can contact me through this email.
Thank you so much, sir, for the wonderful session. You share very deep knowledge, and it was very interesting to hear you. I hope the session will be able to build milestones for the participants. Thank you again, sir.
Thank you so much,
Thank you,
ma'am.
participants. If you have any doubt, then please you can mail your doubt. Sir has already shared sir's mail ID, so you can put your doubts over there. So thank you, sir. Thank you, participants.
Okay. Should I leave now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you.